Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concord Athletics Senior Spotlight, where over the next several weeks we will highlight the spring sport athletes at CU. My name is Wes McKinney. Happy to be joined today by Senior Cooper Brady of the men's cross country and track and field teams. Cooper, so great to have you on today with us.
Glad to be here.
Now, hey, before we get into any kind of questions, just want to assure everyone listening today that we are practicing safe social distancing. We're doing this via Skype today, so no rules are being broken. And once again, happy to have Cooper with us. So I guess let's start at the beginning here. You're a senior, of course, as I said. It's been 4, maybe 5 years, I guess, now since you have made your commitment to Concord. Just kind of walk me through the whole recruitment process by Coach Mike Cox.
Yeah, so really going out of cross-country season my senior year of high school, I had Fairmont was looking at me and Glenville was looking at me, and really that was about it. They were close to home, and they were good fits for me. They both had kind of things that I wanted to look at, but I really just didn't want to stay that close to home. I wanted to get out and broaden my spectrum a little bit, and then as the year went on, track started, and I noticed Concord, and then a fellow senior that was at Braxton, Kate Galinsky, had a sister down here at Concord, and she was coming down here, so we kind of just started looking at that, and they had a really good recreation and tourism program, so I kind of just was like, that sounds really interesting, and Coach Cox hit me up and was like, yeah, we'd love to have you down here, so I was like, yeah, heck yeah, that's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Ended up down here, so.
Yeah, you mentioned Fairmont State being close to home, and just to kind of let our audience know, you're from the central part of West Virginia. There in Braxton County, as you mentioned, you got Fairmont that's not too far. Glenville's even closer. West Virginia Wesleyan's equally as close. So was it kind of that you knew people here in southern West Virginia? What really was the big draw?
The big draw was that I didn't know anybody down here. I knew people at Wesleyan and Fairmont and Glenville, all three, and I was like, I've been around people like that for a long time, so I was just kind of wanting to get out and try something new. So.
Yeah, so you get to Concord. They're just coming off their first men's cross-country championship in the fall of 2015, so I'm sure that was a big draw too, right?
Yeah, that was really cool. I was really excited to get onto a program that was winning, that knew how to win, because most of my programs that I'd been on, usually there was only a couple of us that were really super good, or we kind of struggled in the team aspect. We didn't have a lot of runners. Usually there was only 3 or 4 of us. Sometimes we didn't have a full team, so it was really nice to be on a team that there was actually more than you needed, and you actually had to work for it instead of just getting handed a spot in the top 5 or top 7.
All right, so the Mountain Lions and the men's cross-country team there, they win in 2015. They win in 2016, your freshman year, and then they complete the three-peat in the fall of 2017. But how awesome was it? You mentioned not having a great team in high school, and you get here, and all of a sudden you're part of something that's on top of the world, or at least that's on top of the Mountain East Conference.
It was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I was really excited to have those experiences. I mean, I'd never been to Florida before, so when we made it to nationals freshman year, that was one of my most memorable experiences here. That was one of the best trips we've had, and I was just really glad to be a part of something and then have other people around the nation really notice that Concord was on the map. So.
Yeah, that takes me right into my next question. I was actually going to mention that trip going to Florida. You're basically just fresh out of high school. This happens towards the end of November when Concord gets to go to the national cross-country meet for the first time in school history. It was the first time that a Mountain East Conference team had done that as well. And obviously you said that things get put right on the map there. But what was that experience really, really like in Florida?
That was an awesome experience. I mean, it was a really good bonding moment for me and a lot of my teammates, because where I wasn't on the top 7, we didn't stay in the hotel with the team, so we were out. We actually stayed in a campground in tents overnight, and we drove straight through. I think it was 15 or 16 hours down, and then we slept maybe 5 or 6 hours, watched the race, and then another 15 or 16 hours back. So it was really it was a good experience to bond with a lot of the teammates that went, and there was even a couple former teammates that went that I had never met before. So that was another good experience and really solidified a lot of friendships for me the next 4 years.
Yeah, I'm sure that that a championship that was just outside of Tampa, Florida, at St. Leo University was quite the spectrum. I know you've probably been to other sporting events. What would you maybe kind of compare that to? I mean, obviously there was live video and people could see what was going on there, and it looked like just an awesome spectacle. But what would you compare that to?
I can't even compare that to anything. I'd never experienced anything like that. There was just so many people, so much energy, and most of the cross-country races that I had ever been to, there was a lot of parents going around running back and forth, and there wasn't ever a lot of, like, excitement and people going full out to see all that kind of energy. And it was really it was easy for us to join in and just scream our heads off for everybody, just even if we didn't even know who the guy was running, so.
Yeah, we mentioned the three-peat in cross country. Let's kind of transition away from cross country, talk about the spring sport of track and field, both indoor and outdoor. This past year was the first Mountain East Conference indoor championship, but I want to talk about some of the success that not only you have had, but again, the team. Concord has had some of their highest finishes at the conference track and field outdoor championship while you've been here. What has that experience been like?
Track for me has always been a love-hate relationship. I really enjoyed track in college, and I hated it in high school. So that was kind of a funny experience for me when I got here. But I've honestly, track has been one of my favorite things that I've done here. The events, I don't know if it's just the events or just the people and the weekends. Like, you spend the whole weekend out there pretty much with your team rather than just going out there for a couple hours like a cross-country race would be. So it's been an awesome experience. Probably would say that track has been more fun than cross-country just because there's more interaction with other teams. You're not really just interacting with your cross-country team. You're interacting with Wesleyan and Glenville and Fairmont and West Liberty and all these other track teams because there's so many more people involved in it.
Yeah, so you go through your sophomore year, your junior year, and now here we are. You're starting your senior year, and you get the awesome opportunity of running at the NCAA regional. Concord finishes 5th, but I want to kind of expand on that a little bit. You just look at how this Atlantic region has just exploded with talent. It just seems like it gets harder and harder every year to have a great finish, and you get the awesome opportunity here, Cooper, of running at the regional, your final cross-country race. What did that mean to you personally to get that opportunity?
That meant everything to me. I mean, I had worked 4 years for that moment, and it was a very emotional day. I'm not gonna lie, but it was probably one of the best moments I've had. I thank Coach Cox for that opportunity. That was one of the. It might not have been the greatest race I'd ever had, but I think I did PR by a few seconds. It was a little muddy, cold, and I don't think I walked straight for a couple of days after that. I was pretty sore, but like I said, it was one of the most memorable moments I can remember here. It was a great opportunity.
Yeah, so to kind of bring everything full circle for you, you go to nationals as a freshman to help cheer on the Mountain Lions there, making their first ever trip, and once again the Mountain East Conference's first ever representation. And then this past, I guess it was late November, that you get to go to nationals again, and this time you guys aren't just going to Florida. You're going to Sacramento, California. If I understand correctly, it's your sweet mate, Isaac Prather, that made it, right?
Yes, sir. He is next door neighbor pretty much, and that was an awesome experience. I'd never been on a plane before from where we had driven to Florida instead of flown, so I'd never been past the Mississippi River. I mean, that was a crazy experience. I loved every minute of it. We took a trip to San Francisco. We walked around San Francisco for a couple hours and went to the ocean on the beach and everything. And then just seeing that nationals experience again for the final time as an athlete was awesome because I had been to the one in Pittsburgh, and the only one that I missed was Indiana as in my 4 years here. But the Pittsburgh one I thought was pretty awesome, but compared to the Sacramento one, there was just so much more energy, I guess, from where it was a lot warmer. but it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you and Isaac, being from kind of the same place in the state, he's from Nicholas County, you're from Braxton County, they border each other for those that may not know, and him only being a sophomore, I'm sure that you took a lot of pride in that. You're kind of like a big brother to him.
Yeah, I could agree with you there. Isaac, I think his house is like about 25 minutes from mine, so I mean, we had never really done anything prior to college, but I knew his name, I heard of him when he started running his senior year, and so I guess that close distance really, we kind of created a bond, and we've hung out a bunch outside of Concord. But yeah, I like to think of myself as a pretty good mentor to him. So.
All right, Cooper, a last thing here for you, and before I introduce kind of this next topic, Adam Zundel, the Mountain East Conference office, has done a great job here really ever since all this news is broke about giving athletes the opportunity to just post a letter, almost like a Players Tribune type thing. And honestly, my ideas kind of spawn, and I've kind of tweaked it a little bit to introduce this senior spotlight thing. But your letter appeared on the Mountain East website, and just kind of walk me through you getting to pin that letter there on the MEC website.
I really just wanted to thank everybody that had been a part of my journey, especially Coach Cox and all my teammates. These last 4 years have been just some of the greatest, and I just wanted people to understand how I was feeling in this. I'm not really tore up too much about the situation anymore. I've come to peace with it. I just really wanted people to know how much the impact they have on my life. I know a lot of people always look up to me, and they're always telling me that I've influenced them to do something, but I wanted people to know that it's not just maybe one or two people that have influenced me. It's really like 30 or 40 people that I've been encountered with for the last 4 years.
Yeah, very, very last thing here, and I think this will really hit home. I talked about you being a mentor for Isaac, but I think in reading your letter there on the MEC, and it's entitled Your Stories, and it goes through all the schools around the league. But I think without question to say that Coach Cox has not only become your coach for the last 4 years, but he's become a mentor for you as well, right?
Oh yeah, he has been a father figure for sure. He's pretty much been my main father figure in the last 4 years, from where I've probably only been home about 8 times since I started college. So I don't usually go home very often. So my parents, they've been involved in my life 100%. Anytime I need them, they're there. But I try to avoid going home just to get the full college experience. So, but yeah, he's been right there beside me. Anything I've ever needed, he has been right there. And I think that relationship, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I think he'll be there for a couple years to come.
All right, Cooper. Hey, man, appreciate the time today. Thank you so much for sitting down with us here on the Concord Athletics Senior Spotlight. And, hey, man, whatever happens in your next endeavor, best wishes to you.
Thank you, Wes. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.